Hey guys, welcome to the channel. It's Jack with Stronghold Strength and Conditioning. And today, I'm going to be showing you the simplest way to get your first full sissy squat. But before we get into it, make sure you take a moment and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content like this. Every Thursday, I'm putting out videos showing you how to resolve aches and pains, prevent injuries, and overall optimize your performance inside the gym and outside of it in your daily life and routine. And it doesn't get much better than that. So take advantage of it. Ready? Let's go ahead and dive into this one. All right guys, like I said, today we've got a simple progression to help guide you along to your very first full sissy squat. And we're gonna do it safely and effectively here. So make sure that you pay close attention to all the pieces and parts that are moving along here. We do want to make sure that you master each step before you move on to the next one, making sure that you have all the components in place. But before we get into the actual progression itself today, I am still looking for 3 physically active guys or athletic guys who want to maximize their mobility in the next 90 days. And if this is you, if this is something you're interested in doing, please take a moment to fill out the form down below. It'll be linked in the description here. It'll take you 2 minutes to fill out to give me some information so that we can get the conversation started. All right, so down below in the description, there's a form you can fill out there, maximize your mobility in the next 90 days, and teach you how to optimize the way you move so that you could do stuff like this on the regular, just for fun, to train, however you want to use it. But go ahead and take advantage of that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and now dive into our progression. All right guys, exercise number 1. So here's where we're gonna need our couch or our bench or our box here. And what we're gonna be doing is starting with our toes tucked so that they're in extension here, and we're going to be sitting with our butt to our heel. Now this is important that I can get in this position in the first place, and for some of us it might just be learning how to sit like this to begin with in a comfortable manner. A lot of us hold a lot of tension through those quadriceps. This exercise is going to help open up that whole range a little bit more and give us more mobility, especially through that foot and ankle there as well. So it is something that may take time, just even opening up and getting into this position, but this is where we need to start. I want my back against my surface here with my feet against the surface as well. So I'm putting kind of the ball of the foot. It's okay if my heels are off a little bit, sliding forward here. Okay, my hips, my knees are about hips distance apart here, and I'm gonna go ahead and use a hip thrust to drive my hips forward and reach my shoulder blades back for the couch or the box there. Then I'm gonna sit back down to my heels. So this is always my start point, butt to heels, stomach tight, chin to Adam's apple. There's a fascial line here that actually connects our abdomen all the way to our tongue. So you could even go as far as tucking your tongue behind your teeth, all nasal breath, tapping the shoulder blades to that edge of the surface behind you. Now, the key to this is pelvic stability and control, okay? So when I'm going to hip up, I'm driving my pelvis toward the corner of the room here where my wall meets my ceiling, and I'm focusing on my glutes and my abdomen neutralizing my pelvis as I lean back. Okay, so this is the first exercise, really simple, okay, in design here, pretty straightforward overall, right? Okay, looks simple, kind of hard, gonna challenge you, okay? So if you need to, at first, you can even place your back against the edge and just practice with a little extra support, okay? And then even progress that to taking it off and tapping if you really need to break it down even more, okay? Know that that's a possibility. What I would say here is build that up to you can do 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps. I mean, we really want high repetition, good control in that position and stability in that position when we're working. Exercise number 2, simple change, but it's gonna add a little bit more all the way here, okay? So instead of sitting with the toes tucked, we're gonna go plantar flexed at the ankle this time. Sit your butt to the floor if you can, or at least to your heels, okay? So at least to our heels again, but we're adding range of motion, and this is where it starts to get a little bit more challenging, okay? Back to my surface again, and the same movement. So again, it's coming down to my pelvic stability. I'm driving my pelvis to the corner of the room. Tight glutes, tight abs. And then letting myself sit back down into that position once again, Seiza here, okay? So sitting Seiza, and it's using that hip thrust, strong glutes, strong abdomen, building that up. Once again, this is another one that I would build up to 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps comfortably for yourself. When you're first starting off with both of these, just see what you can do in the first place, okay? So see if you can do 1, 2, 3. It might take you a while to build up to all those sets and reps on this, but what we're gonna be doing is actually actively mobilizing those tissues as we do that over time, building strength through our quadriceps, strength through our core to stabilize that. And again, if we need from this plantar flex position, you can put your shoulders back and practice simply driving from the hips, that movement from the hips. A big mistake that most will make is when they hip up, they want to come tall. We don't want to come forward with it. We actually want to lean back, okay? So we're making that triangular shape with our body against the box and the, or the whatever surface is behind you there. Okay, so we want a triangular shape. Here's our base. This is one angle of the triangle coming up, and then the back side there. All right, so those two are our very first 2 steps to getting that progression started in that sissy squat there. Okay, our next exercise we're gonna take from the top down. So we've built from bottom up a little bit. Now we're gonna start to make it a little bit harder coming top down. All right, guys, this is our 3rd exercise. And honestly, this is the next step just before being able to do a full sissy squat, okay? And we can progress this one in itself to help get ourselves to where we wanna be all the way to the floor and back up. But we have to take the same concepts that we used previously from kneeling into our standing position. So we still need that toe extension when we go into our sissy, and we need glute stability so that we're stabilizing the pelvis, and abdominal stability. It's all gonna carry over. So the very first thing I want you guys to think of on this one, we're gonna be going, and you can use a footstool, you can stack couch pillows, and we can adjust the height here. I'm using a medicine ball just to kind of show the example, but we're gonna go from the top down to that ball, okay? So, or to your cushions, whatever it is. Stabilize the pelvis, feet hips distance apart, abs engaged, okay? So I have a very tight butt now. And what I'm doing to get my butt tight is a couple things. Hip extension, but also external rotation of the hip, okay? So you'll see my knees spinning open, and that engages all 3 gluteal muscles right there, okay? We gotta make sure all 3 are working to fully stabilize the pelvis, and a little bit of abdominal engagement. And then from there, we're gonna rock and tap. Okay, so we're just adjusting the height for ourselves to make it a little bit more simple. Okay, now once you master about 10 reps here, you can start to lower that surface, okay? And eventually, you get down to the point where you can do your full sissy. Coming back up, okay? Focus on pelvis stability, both directions, okay? What that first one was a little weak in my pelvic stability. Keep my glutes driving. What a lot of us will see is that we want to break at our hip when we come back up in the sissy. And that's when we know we're imbalanced between the stability from our glutes with those hip flexors. Our body wants to try and cheat. So keep the glutes tight, focus on that throughout. Then you can start to play with it even more, okay? So if you really want to go back and build it up even stronger, we could go back to our kneeling positions and add a load, okay? Place a load on your chest, hold it right at the sternum, a kettlebell, a light plate, and start to build it up that way with a load on top of it, okay? Or even your sissy, you can start to load up in this full position, or add a deficit. Put your feet on a plate and start to go lower. All right, and there you guys have it. The most simple way to go from nothing to full sissy squat in minimal time here. Again, make sure you take your time in each piece and part of that progression to ensure that you are really mastering the components of it, and move on from there to get to that full sissy squat. Have fun with it along the way, of course, too. If you guys like this video, make sure you let me know by clicking that big thumbs up down below. Take a moment to share this one with a friend who's also on that sissy squat journey with you. And if you, again, are a guy who's athletic or physically active, who wants to improve or maximize their mobility in the next 90 days, make sure you take 2 minutes to fill out that form down below in the description, okay? We're gonna give you all the details once you fill that out. I just wanna get some information so we can start the conversation there. Last but not least, if you have not already, make sure you take a moment and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content like this. Every Thursday, I'm putting out videos showing you how to resolve aches and pains, prevent injuries, and overall optimize your performance inside the gym and outside of it in your daily life and routine. And it does not get much better than that. Welcome to the Stronghold Army. Catch you guys next week.